Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. Happy October 1. Hope everyone's enjoying fall as much as I do. And I'm hoping I can keep holding this phone up long enough. Um, Before I say anything, quick plug for CBD oil gummy bears. As everyone knows, CBD by now, right? There's no THC, perfectly legal. And I get these at my local deli. And these help me sleep. When I take one, it helps with anxiety. Two helps me knock right out at night. So it's very cool to take something natural instead of the Ambien that was prescribed to me, which I don't like. It's too strong. And diphenhydramine gives me fucked up dreams. And melatonin is like hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's really hot in here. I'm contemplating turning on my AC. But the reason I'm coming on today is for a change, it's like something specific. It's kind of like a story time, TMI. It's just me talking. So I think I've mentioned in the past that I have generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar, PTSD, DID, all kinds of things, um, and panic disorder and phobias specifically. Um, and the only reason I'm kind of sharing this is, well, number one, it's a topic, it's something to talk about. And number two, it would be interesting to me. I'm sorry, I'm not picking my nose. I'm fixing my freaking nose ring, which now I'm like regretting getting, but I wouldn't even know how to take it out because it's a corkscrew inside. Um, yeah, I'm sharing this with the idea of, does anybody else have this? And my bald spots are showing. Oh my God. Thank God for that Toppix stuff. I use this stuff called Toppix, Toppix. You shake it onto the thinning areas and at least it colors the scalp a little. It's kind of funny when it rains though. Anyway, so yeah, my main phobia is highway driving. And when people ask like, well, how did this begin? How did this start? Um, I'm not sure there's an easy answer to that. I'm just a very nervous person on the roads. I've turned into my mother, which I'm not a big fan of. Um, and I've had, the usual amounts of like fender benders and one major accident in my life, but I don't tie the phobia to that because I mean, I've had this phobia since around 1992. And and at that time I don't think I was even on a highway. I was still in the cult. My first marriage was breaking up. I had a young child and was working for one of the cult companies, a daycare center. And I think that I was sublimating, pushing down a lot of severe stress. And I was just driving along one day. I remember that it was a beautiful day, and I was in my town, so it wasn't like I was far away. I was close to home. And all of a sudden I'm just driving and I get this sensation of the radio coming in and out of focus, like wow, wow, and all of a sudden my perception of reality became very warped. I was like seeing things funny and smelling things funny, and sounds were getting louder, and my heart was going a mile a minute. I was getting cold sweats, and I thought that I was having either a stroke or a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or a heart attack, or I thought I was just going crazy. It was very, very scary. And I pulled over into like some kind of a flower shop. I think it was like a plant store. Um, this was when I lived in Connecticut. Excuse me. No, I have not yet quit again. Um, they took me to the hospital. Another attack happened at the hospital. They did the brain scan. There was no, um, there was no brain activity. Yeah, what else is new? There was no problem with the brain. They asked me if I was pregnant or on drugs, and I was like, I beg your pardon. Neither one of those things. And so it was just panic. It was called an anxiety attack. Um, and then it happened again another time. I was on a highway, and I had to find an exit damn quick and pull over and compose myself. I remember trying to distract my thoughts and deep breathe and stuff, but nothing was really working. So, a couple more times with that, and I just became very phobic about driving. I still do it, obviously. I drive every day, but I make sure I stay pretty local, and I always take back roads because being on a highway makes me feel out of control. It makes me think a disaster is imminent. It makes me not trust other drivers. I'm fearful of the speed. I'm fearful of the sight of the cars whizzing by. Um, I can't stand being near trucks. I don't even really like being a passenger on highways, um, which is interesting because me and Nick are going to Lake George for a couple days this week. We're also going to do some stuff in the city this weekend. We're going to see Wicked and going to a really nice hotel restaurant, and we're going to walk over the Brooklyn Bridge. So that's cool. And yeah, he came over for dinner last night. He's coming over tonight. We're kind of playing house at this point. It's nice. So, all right, I said all that to say that when I was coming home, and this is like a really major phobia. I'm not proud of it, and I've been trying to work through it with therapy, but I also tell Michael, like, don't try to do this desensitization stuff with me. I'm not getting on a highway, and I don't need to. I mean, it would be more convenient, but I do take back roads every time I go anywhere. Um, it means that when I drive to my daughter's, it takes like an hour and a half versus an hour, and I'm willing to do that because it's also the back roads around here are very, very pretty. So I'm driving home from my daughter's on Sunday, and I thought I left in enough time to avoid the darkness because I also have very bad night vision. The glare of the headlights like blinds me, and I just can't see well at night. Um, I've noticed my eyesight getting worse since I've been on Lamictal. I need to talk to my eye doctor about that on Friday. I have an appointment. Um, so my GPS tells me to go left, and and I think I took the wrong left, and I wound up on an entrance ramp to I-84. I fucking lost my shit. The panic started right off the bat. I pulled over onto like the shoulder. I wasn't on the highway yet, obviously. I was on the entrance ramp. And I just freaked out because I was like, I'm not getting on the highway. And I didn't know what to do. I texted Michael, but he was with family and stuff like that. He was busy. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's why he couldn't answer my text or didn't see my text right away. I contemplated calling my daughter and son-in-law, but I knew that they would just try to get me to get on the highway, and it would be like, oh, it'll be okay. We'll talk you through it or whatever. There was no way, not at night. I can't see at night. And not only do I hate cars going fast when I'm on a highway, like as a passenger, but when you're stopped at the side of a highway and you're looking, it seems like double the speed. It seems like everything is just speeded up. So I'm sitting there trying to not shake too hard, trying to not cry, trying to not throw up. And I know this will sound ridiculous to anybody who doesn't have panic attacks, but you know, picture anything you're afraid of and then like times 10. To me, it's equivalent to like being a passenger on a plane where like both the pilot and the co-pilot both get heart attacks and somebody has to fly the plane. Or I mean, that's not a good scenario because maybe a stewardess would whatever, but that's how monumental it is to me. It would be like trying to drive a plane. And I'm like, what do I do? Do I call the police? Like, because my car would still be stuck there. And a policeman would call it a psychiatric emergency, and I'd be brought to the ER, and that would be a big pain in the ass. And I didn't want to call my ex-husband because we're not getting along at all anymore. We really don't speak. It's really an acrimonious situation, unfortunately. And so I sat there and I kind of prayed a little bit. I'm not really religious, but I was like, just God, universe, benevolent energy, anything, please just calm me down and get me to think of a solution to this. What your girl here decided to do was back up on the ramp, back up so that I could back out again onto the entrance area. This was in Danbury, Connecticut. And I just hoped for the best. I had my hazards on. And what I did was I kind of waited in between lights. And I just sort of inched back. I inched back like foot by foot by foot. And it took a little while, but and I was like hugging the side of the road. I was like way, way, way far over. So I don't think it was really that dangerous, but I know it would be illegal. So I was like, please, God, don't let a cop come by right now because they're not going to believe my excuse, or like, I mean, maybe they would. Maybe it would be a compassionate cop, but I did it. I managed to do it. And some nice person who was like at the light, who realized what I was doing, kind of inched back a little, and I was like, "Thank you, thank you." I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but and then some cars beeped at me. Some cars were pissed off, like, "What are you doing?" But I'm so happy that I stopped on the ramp where I did, and because every inch closer to the regular road made me feel a little bit calmer. But then, you know how when you go through a fright or something, freaky happens, and then you have that like post adrenaline letdown in your body, and you start kind of shaking and maybe start crying. Well, I mean, if if you're me, that's what happened. And I pulled into a Gulf station. I needed gas anyway, and I got a water and some gum, and I just started crying and sobbing because I just felt like such a broken person and just so defective and so weak. And then my therapist texted me back, and he goes, "Call me," like that. And he was in the car with his wife, and he talked me down off my, well, not off the ledge, but off my anxiety attack that was continuing. And he gave me some really good advice and some good, like, instant sort of coping exercises, mechanism. Hi, Ava. How's it hanging, kitty? So I just felt like sharing my experience, that's what it's like to have a phobia and have panic attacks. Um, Michael assures me that with enough work, which we can't even do after the 18th because he's not going to be there anymore. I need to find a new therapist. That's going to be fun. Starting my story all over again. I don't know if they can transfer files. Uh, I don't know how that works because I wouldn't even be in the same practice because they've got no openings. There's no, each counselor has like 125 patients, if you can believe that. Michael sees like 9 people a day. He doesn't even take lunch. He barely has time to go to the bathroom, the poor man. I saw him this morning, and I was very emotional today. I don't know. I was crying because he's leaving, and just, I don't know. I think this weather makes me moody, and I'm still on leave from work, and that kind of makes me anxious too because I don't get paid. I don't get paid time off. So I'm kind of thinking of this as like a vacation, especially because I'm doing a few fun things this week. But my side and my back and my rib cage still really hurts, and I don't have a doctor's clearance note yet. Um. So yeah, that's that's what I went through. That's my TMI story. It's not TMI. It's just it's information. Story about my recent phobic panic attack, and I'm betting at least a handful of you can relate. If you want to comment about what your phobias might be, or, I mean, oh, and I also hate bridges. I fucking hate bridges. I'll walk over the Brooklyn Bridge like I'm going to do, and I'll look over a bridge, but I won't drive over one. Um, some people hate elevators, some people hate bridges, some people hate spiders, mice, cats, dogs. There's all kinds of things to be phobic about. And Michael suggested I get EMDR therapy, EDMR, EMDR. I think it has something to do with rapid eye movement or something. And, you know, yeah, so I just felt like sharing what happened to me on Sunday. It's beautiful weather out today. I might go and sit outside, but I've got a bunch of dishes to do from last night. I made sauteed scallops and shrimp over spaghetti squash with Brussels sprouts. Keto friendly, and he loved it. He loved it, and I love having someone to cook for. So, but tonight he's bringing over some steak teriyaki and lobster teriyaki, and we're gonna watch movies. And he might stay over, he might not. See how it goes. Sometimes he goes to work straight from here. So, yeah, that's what's going on in my world right now, and I understand that there's a ton of drama, extra drama, hot, hot, hot tea being spilled all over the place. Um, I caught I caught part of Michael B. Petty's live stream the other day about stuff going on with Shannon and Charlie and Chantal and Amber and I think somebody else. And it was like, wow, that was surprising to me. And for those of you who think I'm a hypocrite because I keep talking about avoiding drama, I don't avoid it completely. I just don't contribute to it. I don't, but I can listen to it, especially when I'm washing dishes, and I find him very informative and entertaining and a good like conversationalist, when he does a live stream. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, in a nutshell, Chantal is off the rails. Amberlynn Reed has always been off the rails, and I don't know what's going on with Charlie and Shaquana Jefferson. So I'm not going to weigh in on that because I like both of them. I watch both of them, and it is what it is. Not everybody gets along, but um, YouTube is just some trip, man. It's like it's yeah. Everyone's being crucified for having an opinion or having a backlash or having an opinion to the opinion. And I don't know why everyone gets so easily hurt. You got to just live your own life and let everyone else live theirs. And I don't know. I don't know. So I have to get off my lazy butt now and go do my dishes. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.